And now it's Deborah Kobylt Live.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today on Deborah Kobylt Live. We have a really important show for you here today. Please welcome Robyn Towt and Ashley Penner, who are joining us to talk about the upcoming No Double Bogey golf tournament that's going to be taking place at the Dove Canyon Country Club here in Southern California. They're going to be talking all about it. It's going to be happening this month. And the goal is to talk about breast implant awareness. And wait until you hear some of what we're going to be talking about. It's kind of stunning and shocking. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Now, this is a second annual golf tournament. There's a lot of interest in this tournament because there are so many women out there who have had breast implants and have had tremendous trouble because of it. Can one of you start and tell me about the golf tournament? And then let's segue over into breast implants and some of the issues that women have had. Go ahead.
Okay, so I started the foundation actually 3 months after I removed my breast implants, which is called an explant. And 3 months after that, we threw the first No Double Bogies charity golf tournament. And it was an amazing day. We're bringing awareness. We had breast implant illness women all come and help. Robyn spoke. We had great speakers. And I started it because I want to build a bridge for women. When I had seen 12 specialists, I've been running around, no one had answers for me, and then spending my life savings, getting all the medical help and to pay for my explant. I knew I wanted to help women with treatment and bringing the awareness out, because I didn't know, so many women don't know, and no one deserves to live in that kind of pain and mystery. It's a big wet puzzle that it takes you years to figure out. So that's why I created this foundation. I use golf as I've always been a golfer, and I use that vehicle that I know to try to bring awareness in a really big industry. So,
Robyn, talk to me about some of the issues surrounding some breast implants, and then we can go back and forth a little bit because I also want to know your stories. Why you had yours removed, Ashley, and same with you, why you had them put in and why you had yours removed as well. Robyn, go ahead.
Thank you. So in 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I had a double mastectomy and reconstruction with breast implants. I didn't do any other treatment for my cancer. It was actually the breast implants, not the cancer, that made me horribly ill.
Wow.
One of the biggest problems that we run into is most patients aren't made aware of any of this. And it's not just specific types of breast implants, it's all breast implants. And just in the 6.5 years that I've been advocating in this space, the FDA has slapped a black box warning label on all breast implants. Every manufacturer, every type, every style. So, that's kind of a big deal because it's the strongest labeling that the FDA gives for the most deadly and harmful devices on the market. So it's not to be taken lightly, but unfortunately, most doctors are not giving patients proper informed consent. And my organization is GPAC, the Global Patient Advocacy Coalition. We did a survey in 2021, and over 5,000 women responded to that survey. 86% of patients did not get proper informed consent. There's a patient booklet that's supposed to come with the implants. These patients are not given that booklet. The FDA has a lot of shortcomings with regulation of medical devices, and we've uncovered a lot in the last 5 years. So a lot of disturbing surrounding breast implants. And breast implants have a very colorful history. They have always been problematic devices since they've come to the market 60 years ago. In the early 1990s and early 2000s, there was a ban on all silicone breast implants because hundreds of thousands of women were sick from them. So, it's a big problem, and we're just trying to raise awareness for that. And people like Ashley and I were not told, as a breast cancer patient, I had a whole team of doctors managing my care, and not one of them told me that this could happen to me.
What are the different types of breast implants, ladies? And what are the different types of illnesses? And again, this information is coming from, reliable sources, right? Hospitals and whatnot. Could you tell us?
Yeah, I can tell you directly from the FDA website, the manufacturer website, and also the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. All of those resources talk about the harmful effects of breast implants. They can cause autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia, connective tissue diseases, and they also cause various types of cancers. And that was, I think, the incentive for them to put the black box warning label on it. They've known about these breast implant related cancers since the early 1990s. And the FDA is just now in the last few years starting to alert the public to this, but at the same time, very quietly. Not very many people spend their spare time perusing the FDA website. So, we have a lot of work to do as far as educating the medical community, because the FDA has still not alerted the medical community about some of these problems. And they're not holding device manufacturers accountable for the injuries and harm that are causing. They're not even holding them accountable for updating their patient labeling to reflect. Like last year, they put out an announcement about this highly aggressive type of cancer that can be caused by all different breast implants, every single type. And they haven't updated labeling, and they haven't alerted the medical community. They put a little post on their FDA website about it, and that's about as far as it went.
What types of cancers?
So the one they've been talking about the most is called BIA-ALCL, and it's a mouthful. It's breast implant associated anaplastic large cell lymphoma. And it's a lymphoma that is caused by the breast implants. And I need to be very clear about this. These cancers are not breast cancers. They are different types of cancers, and they are caused by the breast implants in the capsule, which is a scar tissue surrounding that our body builds around the implant. So they are absolutely caused by the breast implant. The manufacturers admit that, the FDA admits it, and the plastic surgeon societies admit it. So, but they just like to talk about it a whole lot.
Ashley, let me ask you this. I know you've had your journey with breast implants. They've been removed. I want to hear about that. But basically, these illnesses, is it because the implants are leaking? Or is it from what surrounds the implant? If you could tell us.
So the capsule is, the implants are filled with 40 neurotoxins, like heavy metals. Everyone asked me when I got mine removed, oh, did you have a rupture? Were they too heavy? And my answer is no, they came back completely intact. There is something that's called a gel bleed that happens as soon as you get them. And I have personal experience with that because I had silicone coming out of my nipple burning. And I could have lit like a whole town on fire. I mean, it was excruciating pain just from that. And I had no rupture. I had silicone coming out of there. I had drop foot. I had vision issues where they thought I was going to stroke out for 3 months. So they put me on baby aspirin. They thought I had leukemia when I had massive bruising after 3 years. And then they thought I had MS when I would go to the emergency room. But
oh my gosh.
The biggest thing for me, I remember dragging my foot through the airport because all my blood work came back normal. I had over 6 MRIs, 5 CTs, everything came back normal, yet no one could find what was wrong with me. But it was a day that it was 2 in the morning, and I was driving to the emergency room for the 3rd time, and literally felt like I was going to die. And I called my mom and I said, this is it, and I love you, and I'll see you in heaven. And that
gosh,
it still chokes me up. But I went to the emergency room thinking this is it, I'm dying. And this is a very typical and common story. And after that moment, I was like, something has to be done. I didn't think I would make it to October 3rd when I started it. And yet here we are going into year 2. So it's very real, and I felt it, and it affects everyone around you.
Wait, when did you realize that, something's in my throat and I don't have any water in front of me, so sorry about that. But when did you realize that all of these symptoms could have been caused by the breast implant? That's incredible, Ashley.
So what was interesting is, obviously, like every woman, I started Googling, I started talking to people, I was like, this doesn't make sense. What is this? My mom's a nurse for 40 years, and she couldn't figure out what was going on with me. But in a breast implant illness group, some girl posted, does anyone have itching leading to bruising? And I remember going, what? Because for 3 more years after I had that symptom, I now found a girl, 33 years old, in North Carolina, 3 kids, had the same thing. And she had silicone implants, no rupture.
Wow.
And
wow.
they had an emergency explant the day of my tournament. We were trying to raise money for her. So I was like, I'm not going to leave anyone behind. And yeah, so that was my aha moment.
So you had them removed. How did you feel after they were removed? And it's interesting because these didn't leak apparently. So it's just incredible. So how did you feel almost immediately and then months after?
Like every woman says, I felt like I could breathe. I spent 7 days resting, and then I was on a flight 7 days later, which is you shouldn't be doing, but I did it. And you know, I felt back to myself for about 6 years since I got them. I told my mom, I can't wait to feel like normal. There's something wrong with me. And I wasn't listening to my body. And I wish I had earlier because, you know, I'm still dealing with issues. So,
such as
connective tissue, you know, I have that, my muscle, my gut issues. I can't work out still. It's linked to so many problems, but I'm about 85% better in saying that. So that's huge.
Wow.
My vision came back. My eyelashes grew back. I love waking up every day. I don't feel like I'm dying. So it's great.
Absolutely incredible. So talk to me more about, if you don't mind, Robyn, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you know what's happening. There is an emergency alert. Did you guys get that?
I just saw that, and it's weird because I shut my phone off and I shut all my alerts off. So
I know, but I think it'll turn it on. No matter what's going on in your life, it'll go on. So if it went on during our podcast, that's some kind of federal emergency alert that was supposed to go off at 11:30. So it went off a little bit early, but it also knocked out my my earphones. So I'm glad you can hear me. So I'm glad we're going to keep this going. So the federal emergency alerts and my coughing fits. There's nothing that's going to stop us from talking about your tournament and the possible dangers, right, of breast implants. So women need to be aware. How many women around the world and in this country do you know that have had breast implants? And the second question to that is, how many do you know who've had trouble or reported troubles?
It's interesting. They estimate anywhere from 10 to 15, even 20 million women in the world that have breast implants. In the United States, the hard data is about 300,000 women a year get a breast augmentation, and about 100,000 women a year get reconstruction with breast implants. So we're talking 400,000 women every year in the United States alone. And if I had to guesstimate how many women are actually sick from their implants, it's in the millions for sure. Because, you know, when there was a ban on silicone implants in the 90s, there were over 400,000 women that were suing Dow Corning, you know, for being sick from their implants. And right now, the groups that Ashley and I are in and the space that we advocate in, I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of women just in one group alone, the largest BII group on Facebook. And then there's over 250 other groups and Instagram accounts. So we're probably talking at least in the millions. And, you know, it's really unfortunate that this has been going on for so long, but it's kind of been the dirty little secret that they aren't really bringing to the public, and they just don't want it to be true. And I know a lot of the women don't want it to be true because they love their breasts. And, you know, I was always large breasted naturally my whole life and never understood why women got breast augmentations, because for me, it was very cumbersome having large breasts. I spent my whole life trying to hide them and cover them up. So, you know, having breast cancer and being able to get rid of those and have small, sporty breasts, which I thought I was getting, you know, was kind of a silver lining for me in my breast cancer journey. But that's not what happened. I mean, first of all, I didn't get the small, sporty ones I wanted. I got double Ds that were heavy.
Oh, God. What?
How
did that happen? It's like waking up and a doctor took off the wrong foot. You've heard about that kind of stuff happening.
Deborah, they do it all the time. Women go in, they just want a little bit more volume, and they wake up with double Ds because the surgeon thinks it looks good on them. Or they'll say things like, well, we always have patients come back and want to go bigger, so we just went bigger from the get-go. It's horrifying. It is horrifying.
What were your symptoms?
My symptoms started right away. My very first symptoms were headaches and migraines every single day. I was having heart palpitations, which I've never had before in my life. It was very scary. A couple of times I thought I was having a heart attack. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was always breathing through a straw. And I went from being a fully active middle-aged woman, I was golfing, walking, hiking, biking, water skiing, wakeboarding, to I couldn't even walk around the block. I was that sick. Fatigue, insomnia. I had 2 bald spots on the top of my head. I lost more than half of my eyelashes. I had a rash all over my chest. I had a rash all over my legs. I mean, it was just instantaneous with me. I only had my breast implants in for 4 months.
Oh my God. Now, were they leaking or no? It was just we're having a reaction. Your body was reacting to the implant, a foreign object. Now, we are not here to vilify all breast implants, right? We are here to say, do your research, do your homework, make sure this is right for you. And if you aren't feeling well, pay attention. And where would people reach out if they're not feeling well? What would they do? Go back to the doctor? How do they, what's their recourse?
It's very difficult because the plastic surgeon community has swept this under the rug, thinking, well, all of our breast implant patients are happy. They're not coming back with complaints, but they're not going back to their doctor. Like Ashley said, she saw over 12 specialists. So they're going to a neurologist because they're having chronic headaches. They're going to a GI specialist because they have gut issues. And all of a sudden they have 42 food allergies that they never had their entire life. So in their defense, the patients aren't going back to the plastic surgeon. They're going to other specialists. That's why it's so important for the FDA to alert all medical professionals about these issues that can be caused by breast implants, because Ashley shouldn't have had to go to 12 doctors. I have friends that went to 42 doctors, 57 doctors, trying to find out what's wrong. They're having CAT scans, brain scans, MRIs, PET scans, blood work, allergy testing. It's like a shot in the dark. And so the awareness is key, just educating the medical community, the FDA alerting the medical community to what can happen so that practitioners can help patients sooner. Ashley shouldn't have had to suffer for 6 years. As soon as I started having a problem, I was looking into it immediately. And thankfully, the word was already getting out in 2017. So
what are
nope, go ahead.
What are the main type of breast implants that people are still getting? Tell me.
There's 2 surface types. There's smooth breast implants and textured breast implants. And the smooth ones are just like it says, like if you have a glass bottle or the glass on your phone screen, it's very smooth like that when you touch it. And the textured ones have more of like a sandpaper surface to them. And they act in the body almost like Velcro. And they were designed to stick to the chest wall because plastic surgeons didn't want implants to go in. And then after a few years, women start to have sagging. So if they have these Velcro type textured implants, they literally stick to the chest wall and stay put. Unfortunately, that's very painful to have something stuck on your chest wall like that. It restricts your breathing. It restricts your lung expansion. That's why most women that have BII and problems with implants, they'll find that they have a really hard time just breathing and getting a deep breath. So, the first time I realized how bad it was really affecting my breathing is when the first bath I took after having my implants, because when I submersed myself in the water and made myself weightless, the implants floated off my chest wall and I could breathe normal. And it was such an epiphany for me because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually breathe with these things off my chest. And, that's when I decided they got to go.
What's that?
I decided they have to go.
Wow. So who paid for that? And who pays for this? And then we're getting now to the golf tournament. Tell me.
If you have breast cancer and you had reconstruction with implants, insurance will cover that under the Women's Health and Cancer Rights Act of 1998. Unfortunately, for women who get breast implants for augmentation reasons, it's considered an elective cosmetic surgery, and most insurance won't cover it. We are seeing more insurance companies cover it now because women are having such, grave issues with them and medical problems. But it's still a challenge, and that's why Ashley created her foundation. So I'll let her kind of piggyback on that.
Yeah, now let's talk about the foundation and let's talk about the tournament, please.
Yeah, so this year, I'm super excited because I've teamed up with some wellness centers, and we will be handing out at least 3 packages to women to get help and treatment. You know, so if I would have had 3,500, 3,700 of 3 months of help, it would have been great. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing this year. We have women flying in from New York, Arizona, Canada, Vegas, who have been affected and are volunteering. And we have Robyn, who's going to speak at the tournament. Another woman who had ALCL from breast implants, which is the cancer caused by them. And then another doctor coming to speak, Dr. Saeed from San Diego. So it's going to be a full day of bringing awareness and a lot of fun. So
yeah, and just the 2 years that you're doing this, you know, you've caught the eye of some of the celebrity community and around the country, which doesn't necessarily mean that's an important thing, but they help, you know, elevate and bring even more awareness to what's going on, right? So clearly you've hit a nerve with the medical community, with the women who have had issues and their families, the more influencer people who can get out there and get the word out. So kudos to you for doing that. This is pretty amazing. So tell us about the day or weekend, and I believe it's October 16th, right?
Yeah. So it's Monday, October 16th at Dove Canyon Country Club in Rancho Santa Margarita. We're going to run a golf tournament, fundraise money, try to pay for women's explant and treatment, and really just get the awareness out there. That's pretty much my goal with the foundation, to help and support women and bring as much awareness as I can. So,
you know, and you have to play golf, right? You can come and you can enjoy the day and learn more. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I've been in the golf industry. There's a lot of golfers coming into play. We have fun games all around the golf course. We have a great DJ coming in from LA who's really well known, and I've taught his kids golf for years. And yeah, so he's coming in. We have the celebrities who are flying in, and it's going to be great. I'm so excited for it, and you know whose heart we're going to touch this year, and who's going to make that change. Last year we had 12 women explant after the tournament from hearing about it. So I'm looking forward to see who will get the help this year.
Yeah, if I'm not in Washington, D.C., I'd love to come down. I really want to see what you're doing and support. I think it's fantastic. Anything else you want to tell our audience? Anything, whether it's about breast implants, how to get checked, about the tournament, whatever you want to share, please.
The last thing that I would say is always to listen to your body if you are having issues. Don't doubt yourself. And, you know, they wanted to put me on a lot of prescription medicine, like antidepressants. And I always said, I'm not depressed, I'm sick. There's something wrong. And so trust your gut, even as hard as that is, and to just spread the good word and to help others. So.
Yeah. Your story is particularly heartbreaking. The fact that you called your mom and said goodbye. I mean, the amount of pain, physically and emotionally, that you must have been in to do that. And heaven forbid, imagine being your mom on the other end of that phone call. She must be thrilled. Is she going to be at the tournament?
Yes, she is. Her and my dad will be there. So they're flying away from Canada.
I'd actually love to meet them. I can't imagine that.
I would love you to come. So
yeah, it would be awesome if you could come. One last thing I wanted to mention is if women are experiencing problems with their breast implants, you know, this is a very new and controversial topic. The plastic surgery community is very divided in how breast implants should be removed. But Ashley and I have been in this space for several years now. And, you know, it's very important to find a surgeon in the breast implant illness community who's committed to getting these scar capsules out. Because when Ashley was talking about the gel bleed that happens and those chemicals are leaching out, even though they're not ruptured or leaking, those chemicals are still off-gassing into the body. It's super important that you get the capsules out with the implant, because if you leave those in your body, you can still stay sick. And, you know, it's very challenging. So I really encourage people to come find the breast implant illness community. And it's an amazing place to land and learn information. And then you can network with other patients to find surgeons who are dedicated and committed to removing these implants properly, just to make sure that you have the best chance of regaining your health back.
And if people want to get in touch with either of you or more info about the tournament, shout out now here.
So you could go to NoDOUBLEbogies Foundation.com and send me an email through there, or on the Instagram, NoDOUBLEbogies Foundation, or the NoDOUBLEbogies Golf Tournament. So
very good. Robyn?
And for me, anyone can reach me, just my name, Robyn Towt, and I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And also our website is gpacunited.org. We have a lot of resources there. We have scientific studies from medical journals. If people want to learn more about the actual science behind breast implants and what they do to the body. Many people, including myself, didn't even know the chemicals that were used in breast implants. You know, I have very sensitive ears. I can't wear cheap earrings that have nickel in them. I had no idea that my breast implants had nickel in them. Ooh. So people that have metal allergies, you know, they might be suffering and they don't even know that that's what it's from. I think we've normalized being sick in our society, right? When we don't feel well, we're like, oh, I'm just middle-aged. I'm just a busy mom. I'm just stressed out at work. But it's not normal to feel that sick. So like Ashley said, listen to your body and just, you know, if something doesn't feel right, really dig deep and look into it.
Yeah, you're actually getting me thinking, because I had to have surgery on my knee because I injured it, and there's a piece in there that's not native to my body. And ever since I had it, just not only 2 years ago, I just haven't felt right. And I'm starting to think, oh gosh, is that because there's a foreign object in there? You do have to pay attention to what's going on. So thank you for saying that. I think we all just need to think in a different way. You know, what else is causing this that nobody else is finding? Very good point. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. It was very informative. I really want to get the word out there to women who are struggling and may not even know. So hopefully someone's watching this show saying, oh my gosh, it could be my implant. So it could be my friend's implant. So thank you for this awareness, and please look them up, and the tournament as well. If you can't go, you can donate, which would be wonderful to help someone out there who can't afford it get their breast implants removed to help save somebody's life. It's very critical. So thank you both for joining us so much. And you can find our interview with both Ashley and Robyn on Deborah Kobylt Live. We post it on YouTube, on Facebook, and then we post promos on our Instagram. And then after that, as an audio podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, you'll find us, whether it's iHeartRadio, whether it's Apple, or any place that you find your podcast, you will find us. Deborah Kobylt Live. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope to see everybody.